Hey, it's Chris from Stamp Blessings, and I'm really excited to be back with you today on July 12th. And I've had kind of a little bit of a break. I was up visiting my parents in Upper Wisconsin. We had the 4th of July, and then my dad was sick. So I am back today with a really fun new die from Close to My Heart. It's in their new July-August catalog. And I love it because it turns out that it's really actually 3D. So, and I'm going to be showing you lots of ideas. This week I did post this card on my blog, and so many of you loved it. And I also shared it in my Facebook group. But today I'm going to give you ideas not only how to just make a simple card like this, or the reverse of the papers, because this blue was on the inside, now it's on the outside, and I added some little inlets left over from another cut that I just tucked in, and I like the dimension that it adds to this. So if you're just visiting me now, go ahead and leave me an emoji, tell me hi, let me know where you're watching from. I always go back and answer all of the comments, and I love it when you do send me messages because it lets Facebook or YouTube know that you really care about what I have to say. And again, my website is chrisfranco.closetomyheart.com, and you can find me also on my blog, stampedblessings.com. So let's talk more about this die. And before I get too far, I learned the most incredible tip this weekend. So even though I've been a consultant or a maker for many years now, gosh, even going back through Amuse Studio and the Angel Company, I learned a fabulous new tip. And that is to use fabric softener sheets. You have seen that before. I saw my Wi-Fi just gave me a little glitch, but it's back, so I'm going to just keep talking. But these are great, and I did get the free and clear, so that even like that though, they still are pretty smelly. So, but for this, I'm going to pull out 4 dryer sheets, and I'm just going to stack them. And you can feel it's kind of waxy almost. So I really like this. I'm not sure if they're all like that. Again, I don't usually really use dryer sheets. But I saw this tip this weekend, and it really does work. So I laid them out nice and flat, and then I went ahead and I just folded them in half again. And voila, it fits perfectly on this die. So what I do is I put this in my sandwich plate, and I run it through once or twice, and that leaves almost like a little bit of a waxy coating. I don't know, you can't really see it on there. I can see it, so it's there, and every once in a while I run it through and it builds up. So you can see that this is a sheet that I've already used. Now, one of the tips that they had was to run it through your paper, and then after you ran it through, for instance, I would run it through one more time like this, and then the pieces stay behind. But I found then that this paper got really a little bit waxy from all of that pressure and all of the dryer sheets. So my go-to has just been to run this plate through and give this a nice coating, and I can do that every maybe 3rd or 4th cut. But that makes these little pieces really pop out well later, and I'm going to talk to you more about that, but these pop out beautifully then. And I must say that I have a Vagabond now that my Big Shot died, and I use Cuttlebug plates. I'm not sure why, but somehow I got into that sandwich. I think I just had bits and pieces, or maybe that's what I bought at Michael's with a coupon. But I have to shim my plates with 3 levels of cardboard. So you may find yourself having to shim a little bit. Now, I've heard wonderful things about the Close to My Heart die cutter. And if you're ever a hostess, that's something that you can buy as an add-on to your party. So if you want to talk about if you're in the market for a new die cutting machine, I just happened to need the Vagabond because I was getting a bone spur because I cut so much, and that has since gone away. I also worry a little bit about arthritis. So I said I was going to show you how to stretch this die and do more than just a basic card. So here's just a basic card with a sentiment added. Then I showed you how you can even use leftovers from another one and inlay those in, which is really, really quick and easy. So what I've been finding myself doing, I just save all these little cutouts and I put them in a little, one of those dollar store plastic containers with a lid. So this is just a really simple look, but now let's go ahead and see what else we can do. So Close to My Heart has beautiful holographic papers, and if you've never seen them or you're not really sure what to do, this cuts beautifully. And what I did is, to give it variety, I snipped the butterflies off. So snip, 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 and I'll show you that in a minute. And then I ran a second sheet, which was pink, and I popped those then through the opening. And it's just so shimmery and so pretty. Now I just have to decide what color to mount it on. But this is really a fun look, and now I have these butterflies that are left over that I can use on another project. So again, I have one die that I'm kind of stretching it out. Here I did die cut a piece of pattern paper, so I don't know if you can kind of see the little polka dots. And it's pretty and all, but I thought, look at how glorious that would be to have these butterflies shimmering on top of it. And I really like the dark blue behind it, so when I get done with this video, I'll go ahead and finish this card, but you really don't want to probably watch me glue all of this down. So, but that gives you an idea that by snipping off those butterflies, I now have 2 cards. So that holographic paper made 2 cards, which is really nice. Another fun technique is to emboss the background. And what do I mean by that? You might have one of these rubber mats with your die cutting system, and this is an embossing mat. So when I do that, I want to build my sandwich where I have my die, and here's the cutting side. I put my blue cardstock right lined up. I put it down so that it's sitting on the rubber, so there's my sandwich, and then I can finish it off with a plate. Because this rubber is as thick as another plate, I didn't need it. I did need my 3 layers of cardboard shim. So you might have to play with this, but I'm gonna run it through the machine, and with the magic of preparation, I have one ready to go. And so you can see that this is embossed. It's hard to tell, but it didn't cut through. So I have all those butterflies. There we go. I have the butterflies, but they didn't cut through, so it's all one sheet. And it makes a beautiful background that I can use. So I've taken my cutting die and turned it into a nice smooth piece. And I thought it would be really nice to use the stamp set from Close to My Heart. It's also in their new catalog. It is called Smiles from the Garden, and these butterflies seem to really match in the shape of the thin cut die. So I pre-cut 2 of the butterfly shapes, and you know what I did? I forgot a block. And I also thought the scallop might be nice with a sentiment. So let's see if I can do that with just using my lid. Well, that's going to be difficult because I won't be able to see where I'm coming down on. So, but I'm going to go ahead and ink it up, and I think what I'll do is try and lay the paper on top of it. So normally I would have an ink block, acrylic block, and I would stamp. I'm going to just try and show you really quickly what I was thinking of doing. Yep, and I can tell that I already missed it. So this is really backwards. they also have a really cute bug set that I think Melissa said that she's going to order. I really liked this set because it had the flowers and the butterflies. I have a zillion butterflies, I have a zillion flowers, but of course I needed just one more. So as I predicted, it really didn't come out centered very nicely, but I just wanted to show you how I could go ahead and build the card using this, or I could just do 2 butterflies and a sentiment strip. But now I have a whole nother look just by using an embossing pad with my embossing machine or my die cutting machine. So I'll go ahead and set that aside. Another way to work with this is, dun da da dun, how many of you have chalks shoved in the back of your crafting closet that have not seen the light of day in a long time? In fact, mine have been in the laundry room for so long that they started getting a little bit rusty. But I have 3 huge pans of chalks. So I was really excited to see this other possible idea. And what I did is I die cut my butterfly die on white daisy cardstock, and then I went ahead and I chalked in some of the wings. And then I just mounted it on some blue cardstock. Blue seems to be my go-to color here. And I can finish this off with a sentiment, either up here on the top or down here in the corner. But this is pretty simple, and then I put a little shimmer brush over it, even though these are already pearlescent. But I thought there was still even another way to use the chalks, and I want to show you that now. So I cut this piece out as a mat, and I will tell you that I did try to die cut my acetate, like it's a transparency overhead, and that just kind of got curly and it didn't die cut. And I don't know if that's because I had all this bounce, smoothed out on it, or somebody else mentioned that they had a hard time cutting through transparencies. So I decided I'm just going to use this craft paper as my mat. And I just wanted to show you how quickly and how easily these little pieces pop out. Because I'm going to be chalking through it, I'm not going to worry about all these little doodads, but there are a lot. But I've also decided I'm not going to worry too much if they're not popped out, because I don't know. It's just sometimes it depends on how much time you have, I guess, and how much patience. But I will show you now how I go ahead and I cut out, for instance, those holographic butterflies. So I just bring them up, and they're pretty much almost cut through. You just need to do a little snip at the top. It's almost like a little V-snip. And then I flip it around and I come in and I do another little V-snip at the bottom. So surprisingly, it looks a little bit fussy, but it comes apart very, very quickly. So I'm going to just, again, snip here, and I think I might have to come up because I have to catch the head. And so this card I have not tried yet, so I'm going to make you my guinea pigs. I hope you don't mind too much. But that's the nice thing about my live videos, is you see the real fails and the real successes. So, well, today it's 94 here. I'm not sure about by you how hot it is. I had summer school this morning. We got out at about 1:30. The kids said it was a great day. It was their first day. I think a lot of them were not so thrilled about coming to summer school, but it's a great program where it helps them bridge into first grade, especially since a lot of the kids were virtual this year. So that's going to be really nice for them to make a little bit of a transition. And I saw one family already setting up a play date. So that was another benefit. They get to meet new friends in person. All right, I'm almost done. I should have had maybe more of these already pre-snipped. But So remember, oh, Melissa says it's 90 by her in Texas. Well, wow, we're beating you then. Remember to leave me a comment if you have any questions, if you think you're going to order this butterfly die. I will tell you, I suspect that this one will sell out before the end of the catalog. Our sunburst die sold out in the last catalog cycle, and this one is seeming to be even more popular. So I foresee this selling out. All right, great. So I have that done. I have my chalks, and I have a piece of cardstock ready, or a card base. I've already folded it in half, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay it down. Now I probably would want to tape this down just to keep it really from moving, but I'm going to try and keep a firm hand. And because you are watching, I won't do the entire card because I really can't speed up my lives. And I'm not much of an editor when it comes to the rest. So I'm just going to find really quickly. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and start with the green, and I'm just going to pick up some greens, and I'm going to go through these little things. And I don't have to be too precise because, you know, this is just kind of going to be poking through. And I think for the other leaves, I'll go a little bit darker. I didn't even have to just kind of swirl these around, give you the idea. So I used a darker green for these little leaves, and for the vines, I'm using that lighter green. And I haven't really pre-thought my my color scheme, so this is kind of random. It might be scary when we're done. I'm not sure. I hope not. I am not going to probably color everything, but I will give you an idea of how it's going to look. We'll see together. So again, like I said, I haven't really pre-planned this card. I haven't tried this technique yet, but I just thought, oh, I think this would work out really well. Just using this as a stencil to kind of push my color in through. It's kind of random. All right, so that's enough green for now, and you can see that that did slide a little bit, but I'm going to just slide it back into place. I think I want those flowers yellow, so I'm just going to, again, if you have some chalks, which you probably still do and you haven't used them in a long time, this is a great project to do that. And so this yellow just goes right in there nice into all those flower corners. And I could take the time and make different colored flowers, but I'm not really going to. I want to make sure that my stencil is sort of lined up. All right, so that's most of the flowers. There's only a couple more. We'll see how close I was when we take this off and try and put a layer over it. All right, so now I have the butterflies, and I'll just do some blue. I'm going to also color in these big butterflies because even though they're going to have a layer over them, it'll be poking through. So it's just, I don't have to really think about it. I just swirl that cotton ball. This is so much easier and faster than if I had to do like Copic markers or something. And I'm going to just keep those two butterflies, those two big ones, the same color. I got into a different blue, but that's okay because they're going to be underneath the other wings. So, all right. And then I still have these little tiny butterflies that I want to do. And there's so many color choices. I haven't really pre-planned this, and I have 2 more boxes that I could get into. So let's just do some pink ones. And again, I'm just really doing a quick, holding it down firmly, kind of quick like that. I don't know how it's going to look with orange, but I'll give it a try. We'll see what the orange butterflies look like. It might be too much color, but all right. And I thought there was one more, so I'll go ahead and make these guys orange. Anyway, that kind of gives you the idea. I'm going to stop here. I'll take off my stencil. Again, I ended up using a craft cardstock, which is a little bit thicker, I think, than some. So here is my base. You could leave it like that if you wanted just a really kind of loosey-goosey, but I went ahead and I die cut a black layer, and I'm going to just pop open these. And I did see another consultant who used black, and I just thought it popped so beautifully. I don't usually use black as a as the cover because it is kind of dark, but I just want to lay it over and see how that color comes through. And now you can see once I line it up, I might have to go back. I could easily go back now that I know roughly where the color should be. If I felt like I wanted more green, I could go back and just kind of, move all the green there for the yellow. If I felt like that butterfly wasn't orange enough, I could come back and just widen the spots. But look at how that color kind of shows through. The two blue butterflies do. The orange ones are showing under their wings. And if I added some gold pearls, I think, or sequins, that would really kind of give it some color on the top. Or maybe I would want to cut a white butterfly and put that on top. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick idea on, you're going to buy one die, but you can have such a variety of looks. You can have just an embossed background. You can snip the butterflies and add them later to it. It looks beautiful with the holographic paper, whether you have them loose or you add those. And then, of course, you can just make a simple card, and that is lovely too. So that's my Monday motivation. I'm so pleased that you came to watch. I'll come back and answer any comments, any questions that you have. And make sure you stay tuned because next week I'll have another Monday motivation. Have a great week. Stay cool. And if you have any butterfly creations, I'd love to see them. So be sure to share them in our Facebook group. Bye.